Welcome back, everyone, to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We're your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
Welcome back, guys. Happy 2024. We hope everyone had an incredible new year. Ours started off a little rocky because we were both sick.
We were both sick.
And that was sad. So we didn't do anything for New Year's, but that's totally fine. The New Year still happened and it was great.
Yeah. I think this was the first year that I didn't watch the ball drop or do anything. I think we went to bed before the ball dropped.
Yeah, we went to bed at 10:30.
Yeah, because we were all the whole family was sick, and we were just we had plans and we were gonna go, but then at the last minute we're sick. We may get other people sick, so we might as well just stay at home.
And we were flying home the next day, so we were like, let's just get ahead of it, sleep it off, and whatever.
It didn't help because I felt even worse the next day. So.
That's true. Because honestly, the 31st was pretty much the first time we started feeling bad. And then it just got so much worse. Anyways, if you guys have been following us on social media, we have been posting about the Whole30. So we started the Whole30 on January 2nd. And we talked about it before on past podcasts, not future podcasts. We probably will talk about it in future podcasts. But what the Whole30 is, short and sweet. It is an elimination diet. So the premise of it is to cut out all gluten, dairy, grains, sugar. What else?
You said dairy, right?
Yeah, gluten, dairy, grains, sugar.
I think those are the big ones.
Are those the big ones? Well, it's been great. And the point of it is to eliminate all of the bad things that can be harmful to your gut, harmful and creating inflammation in your body. And so we've been doing that since January 2nd. Yeah. And how would you say that's been, Justus?
It's been tough. I mean, granted, I was sick the first couple of days, so I wasn't hungry at all.
I was starving by myself. He was like, I'm not hungry. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I was not hungry, but now since I'm getting back into just feeling normal, it's tough. And I know we don't have the book. You have the book at home, but it kind of talks about what you're supposed to be expecting each day. And I'm sure that this is normal. We also work out more than what they say you should. So
I was about to say, let's preface this with you're not supposed to be starving on the Whole30. That's not the goal at all. But we are exerting so much energy. I'm exerting more energy than I was before starting the Whole30 just with work ramping up and everything. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But that has been really tough. So we're exerting more energy than we're putting into our bodies, and therefore
because we're not eating the same level of carbs from grains and stuff. So when we go work out, it's we feel a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more tired. But
it's been rewarding.
But it's been very rewarding. I know that we're going to see the benefits soon because I've seen the benefits before in the past. So
yes, because we both done it before.
Yeah, so I'm very excited, and it's very helpful. I know we just posted another TikTok of the meals that we got from Whole30, so that's been very helpful as well. So I think a big problem with the Whole30 sometimes is making the meals, and when you're meal prepping and stuff for the week, for the people who do that for work, it's hard to meal prep for Whole30 meals because one, they don't last very long, and two, they just require a bunch of different ingredients that you may not have with you. So, and
let's be real, food is the best when it's ready to be served.
Exactly,
not
when you're hungry, exactly, and it's ready to be served. So Whole30 for the first time has come out with their the
pre-made meals
that they can send to you. You can get up to 12. We did the 12 pack, and it's a huge menu. They have 20 something different food items you can choose from, and every single week you can choose something different, or they give you recommendations based upon what you've ordered in the past. We've had a couple of meals already, and they've been very, very good.
They've been great. We will say though that they're not huge, but today I didn't even finish
they're a good portion. I was surprised.
They don't look big, but they're dense. I feel like the food that they have in them, today I had the Moroccan
meatballs, and I had the pork egg roll in a bowl. They're a lot because I've done HelloFresh before.
What?
In college after football when I was after I finished playing football and I still had a couple months of school left and stuff, and I wasn't on the meal plan anymore, I tried to do the HelloFresh thing.
That's literally news to me.
Yes, I have. I did it for 2 weeks. Because for the portion sizes were small and the food was but this food honestly is incredible.
It's great. And for your first order, you can get free shipping and $50 off.
We're also not sponsored by these people, so I don't know why
we're doing this because we love our people, and we're
not sponsored by these people, so we're not just saying this to tell you.
No.
They're not giving us crap.
No,
so.
We're genuinely very excited. Yeah. I keep posting about it on my health Instagram, my Movement and Margarita's Instagram, just because it's exciting and it's awesome because the Whole30 is really hard, but there is a huge community out there that is there to help you. They have constantly posting new recipes, and they're offering food to be delivered literally to your door. So it's been
it makes
really
it
good.
easier. It makes it a lot easier.
It does,
because I know that I'll be taking those with me when I go to work for next week and
Me
stuff.
too.
So it'll be very, very helpful. But
I agree.
yeah, if you want to learn more about it, you could always go onto their website, or you can, we did a podcast about the different types of diets and how you should think about them, and Whole30 was one of them. So we go into a little bit more detail there, but that is not the purpose of this episode for this week.
We're just excited.
Just wanted to give you guys a little update and kind of share along in the journey with you. But yeah, so this week's topic, we will be continuing a conversation that we had long ago.
Yes.
Long ago. It was like August or September. I can't keep track.
I mean, what was that, like 5 months ago?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So for those of you who don't know, we did an episode called Transition to a New Stage of Life. And essentially that was when we had first gotten married and everything in our life was new. New marriage, of course. New
marriage. We've had one before. No, I'm just kidding.
New marriage, moving to a new city. Well, I've been here for a little bit, but just adjusting to being in a new city with you.
Right.
New job, you moving in.
Finding a church, finding friends.
New church, new friends, new part of our relationship. So everything was new. And we decided to do an episode of like what that was like for us, kind of, jumping into that and how that's been. So today we're going to give you a transition to a new stage of life part 2, where we give you a little bit of an update about those things, because a lot of the time people give you, advice about what to do and you don't really know, like, okay, so like what was the outcome of that? They kind of just give you certain things, or they kind of, tell you things after the fact. I think it's kind of cool that we're, talking about it while it's actually happening and saying like, okay, this is what we wanted to do and it didn't really work, or this is what we did do and it worked. So
right, because we just want to be open and honest with you guys and give you guys updates, because we talk a lot of talk on here, and you guys technically don't know if we actually live out what we do, but we want to show you guys how being rooted in the Lord and relationships, friendships, all of that can come to fruition.
Yeah, and so it's not to say that like we've arrived somewhere and it's like we're still, trying to navigate certain things, but I feel like we've seen a lot of cool things happen here. And yeah, it's just been awesome.
Yes, very exciting. So, would you like to give a little update first?
Yes. What are we starting with? Sorry, my throat is like tickling. Hold on.
Because we've been sick.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Your throat can tickle.
I need to get a water from my new Stanley.
Oh, best Christmas present right there.
For those of you who don't know, I got a Stanley.
You're funny. Okay,
and I take it to the gym with me every day.
That was interesting. Okay.
So the first...
I have my Stanley too. Wait, that's kind of cute.
Cheers.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it the first... So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is a work update.
Yeah.
For me, it's not really that much of an update.
Okay. I disagree. I was going to say, like, your update is that you're still doing your job. Like, a lot of people quit their jobs, go into other jobs. Like, that's still a big update. Like, you're working very hard.
Yeah. Okay. So the update of my job is that I still have a job.
Yeah.
I'm still with the same job. I'm just kind of, moving up in the tenure levels. I've enjoyed it so far. It's been very, very great. It's definitely been a lot of hard work. For those of you who don't know, I'm in consulting. So it's a lot of late nights, a lot of traveling. So, luckily, I have not traveled as much as some people have, and there have been weeks where I have traveled like every single week, or months where I've been. But more recently, I've been able to stay at home, which is nice. So
yeah, it's been huge.
Yeah, just being able to grow more and kind of learn more of what I want to do. I think I'm at the point where, and I know I'm very early in my career, and it's like some people who have their jobs for like 20 and 30 years, but I feel like now more than ever, our generation is very like, what's next, or like what's new.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more so just learning to be like content in this job and learn what I can, and then if other opportunities open up, take advantage of them. But I feel like I'm learning a lot, making a lot of friends, and yeah.
That's great. That's amazing. Okay, well, my job update, I am still working at Yoga 6, which is great. We actually just opened. We have our grand opening February 9th, but we are in our soft opening.
What you had said before, like what stage were you in? But you didn't have a job when we talked about it the first time.
Did I not?
No, because I was in like
Oh, then I worked at Yoga 6, but we hadn't opened
but
yet.
You hadn't opened. The building wasn't even like constructed, I don't think.
There's a lot that's been happening with my job, both good and bad.
Yeah.
But I'm good. I'm still working there. I love the people that I work with. I love everyone that helps with leads and like everyone at the front desk, but I also love all the teachers and the leadership there has been rocky, but now it's incredible. I absolutely love who leads me and mentors me, and it's just been great. So I've been teaching 3 times a week at Yoga 6, which is great. So
if you're in Dallas, come take her classes.
I literally was about to say that.
Please.
If you're in Dallas, come. Why, please? You don't even take my classes, mister.
Her classes are hard. I will tell you right now. I thought so.
You took
I
it
had
one time.
Yeah, I was taking a break in between work at like 5 o'clock, and I was like, okay, I'll take, because you didn't know if I was going to come to your class, and I was like thinking about it last minute. I was like, oh, I kind of had some free time.
It was my first one in the studio with us being like soft opening.
Yeah. And I kind of had some free time. I was like, okay, maybe I'll take her class.
He was like, it's my off day. I'll just
I was like, oh, it's an off
class.
day. I'll just go and get a quick stretch on an off day. And she literally murdered me.
Because we do it with weights. It's sculpt and flow. So
Literally
it's not,
murdered. I was
it's
drenched in sweat. The dude next to me, whose girlfriend dragged him, we were both dying because like we were in the little room trying to figure out what weights we should get. We're like, we got to get 10s because we're like,
it only goes up to 15.
Yeah,
and
so
that
like
should
we
be
got
a
to get the
telltale
strongest.
sign.
We got to get the biggest ones because like
Oh
we're
my
dudes
gosh.
and you kicked our butts. But yes, if you're in Dallas, please take one of her classes.
Yes, I teach Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Yoga 6 on Dallas Fits You. And that's been great. So I'm excited to see how that continues and how I continue to grow there, hoping to get more up into management or just helping the studio as much as I can. But I guess the biggest update with my job is right before Christmas break, I auditioned with this place called Wesley Wellness Club. And it's a women-owned club. It's supposed to provide like a safe space, a big community, mainly for women, but also men can join as well. And like we have men who teach some of the classes, but it's such a cool club because they have like every class. They have like a Zumba dance cardio class. They have a burn class that incorporates weights. They have a flex class, which is more of sculpting. They have like, it's almost like one-on-one personal training, but there's only 4 people in the room lifting weights. They have a cold plunge. They have a sauna. They have lymphatic drainage massagers. It's just such a cool idea. And the idea of it grasped me immediately because I was like, that is like everything I've ever wanted in a gym.
Yeah.
And given it's not a gym, they don't have like free weights. They don't have like an open floor gym where anyone can come and go. But I just love it, the group fitness studio. So I auditioned and I got it. I got the job, which is exciting. So I will hopefully be an instructor there maybe in February. I'm taking all the classes right now just to make sure I'm like in the community, loving it, love the space, make sure it's right for me. And then I'll do like 1 to 2 training sessions and then hopefully I'll be on the schedule.
Yeah.
So,
wow. 2 jobs.
Exciting.
She went from no jobs to 2 jobs.
That is true. So that's a pretty big update. And honestly, people have been asking me how that transition has been because for 4 months when I moved here, I literally wasn't working.
But now you're on like a schedule.
And now I'm on a schedule. Yeah. So I'm not home as much, which is weird, but it's okay.
Yeah, because you said you enjoy working at Yoga 6.
I
like
do.
You enjoy being at the front desk. You enjoy interacting with people. I
enjoyed it a lot more
coworkers.
than I thought. Like I almost thought that I would be like, oh, I wish I could just sit at home and do whatever I want in the sense of read or clean or something. But I'm like, I really do enjoy it. I think it's been really fun. I hate it on days when you're like not working for some reason. I'm like, oh, I wish I could be home with you. But it's really chill. It's really fun. And I would say the transition has been easier than I thought. But I also know that it's only a couple weeks into January. So I have a lot to learn. And January is a huge month in fitness. So I know it'll continue to ramp up and everything like that, but it's been great.
Yeah, but overall, like our jobs, I feel like they've been good, and I feel like that's a big part of like kind of our transition is that we both don't hate our jobs, because I have some friends and stuff who like struggle with like, they don't particularly love what they do, and it really does affect you. And obviously like with your job there's a balance between like, okay, figuring out like your passions, but then also being realistic of like you need to survive and kind of sticking it out sometimes.
Like we have to have a job to pay the bills.
But you have to have a job to pay the bills, but also you shouldn't be absolutely miserable in your job. So, a job is never, set in stone, and that's never the thing that like is supposed to like keep you kind of sustained. So, and you can always move and pivot to something else. So
yeah, a job is not supposed to absolutely suck the life out of you and impact you mentally in a horrible way, impact your friendships in a horrible way. It's just there are other options out there. But like you said, it's realistic for a period of time. Like you have to pay the bills. So if this incredible job that pays you so much money is miserable, only do it for a small amount of time. Don't stay in it just because of the money. It's not worth it.
Because ultimately it's like you kind of reach a level of like, oh, I'm just trying to get to this point. But when you reach that point, you realize that it's not what you thought, or you realize that like, okay, there's another ledge that you kind of want to jump up to, and there's always going to be more, and you're always going to want more. So you feel like you're just like never content in those areas. So that's why sometimes those like type of rat race jobs where you just kind of keep going and going, there's really no like ending to it. But at the same time, I know people who love their jobs and it makes being in their environment like more fulfilling.
Right.
And the only reason why they're still where they're at is because of their job. So just as a job can like kind of suck that like life out of you, it could also give you life depending on like, you know, who you're working with, what you're working on, because that's what a job is supposed to do. And that's what work is supposed to be. That's what God intended it to be. It's like, you know, you're working for benefit, not only just like monetary benefit, but also just like internally.
Right. Spreading the Lord's, like spreading God's word when to your coworkers, to people that walk into the door. Like I love so much being the first face people see maybe at like a 6 a.m. workout, and I just get to like pour life and light into them instead of making them miserable. And if they're a miserable person, then just like letting them continue. That's
funny you say that, because like I remember we went to dinner with some of my like work friends and stuff, and we were just talking about our jobs, and like we all have like these like corporate jobs or whatever, and you mentioned that like, oh, I don't have like the big corporate job that you guys have, and then one of my friends, he was like, you're literally like the best part of everyone's day. And
I know,
like,
that was so sweet.
Consultants are probably the worst part of everyone's day, but like you're literally the best part. You're the thing that like you get to be a part of the thing that people look forward to probably during their day.
That's true. I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
I loved when he said that. I was like, that's so true. But it's crazy how many people in fitness don't care about other people. Like they're just in it for the money, or they're in it for like the body, or like whatever. I don't know. I love seeing people and making them smile, and people make me smile right back. So it's not like a one-sided thing, but it's been great. Speaking of people and other people, community.
Well, I wanted to ask you some questions about your job first though.
Ask me the questions. What are you going to ask me?
What do you think has been your favorite part about teaching so far?
I would definitely say starting to build a community, because teaching, this is my first teaching job ever. So of course I'm still nervous. I still have my notes up there just to make sure I'm giving the people what they deserve and like what I wrote up for them to give them a good class. And it's really nerve-wracking, but it's really fun. Like halfway through the class, I'm like, okay, I'm totally in my element. Like this is great. The people are loving it, or they're maybe hating it and like dying of sweat. But anyways, they always like thank me after that. That was a great class. Like I'll be back. I don't know. And I'm not even doing it for the rewards of people saying to me like that was great. I'm doing it to be able to pour into people and continuing to see the same faces all the time, and just like hearing about their lives, hearing how they're growing, hearing how they love the community at Yoga 6.
Too.
And so I would definitely say my favorite part is the community. Like I've already seen, I would say probably 7 to 10 familiar faces that have come to my classes and been like, hey, Camryn, like, how's your week been? Or that sort of stuff. And it just makes me happy, because I'm building community through a job.
Yeah.
Like something that in this day and age, like you were saying, when people think of work, they're just like, I want to sit at home and just be on my computer. Like I don't want to go out and see people. I don't want to be face to face with people. And understandable, some people really just don't want to talk to people when they're working. But I love the fact that I get to go into a job where like I get to interact with people the whole time.
Yeah.
It's so funny how I go down rabbit trails. Like my brain is just like I was going to continue going, but I was like, Camryn, stop it. Stay on track.
I'm glad you caught yourself.
But that's my
pulling
favorite
you
part.
out of the rabbit hole, but that's awesome. Cool.
What is your favorite part about your job?
I would say how much I've been able to learn in such a short period of time. I think, you know, with consulting, you go to a bunch of different industries and you're solving these problems and stuff, and it's like a jump from one thing to the next, and it's really cool just to be able to learn how businesses work and operate from across multiple different industries. Like I've worked in like 5 or 6 different industries in my year and a half of working there, and it's been really cool to see how quickly you're actually able to learn things.
Absolutely. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, any more questions about my job?
No, that's about it.
Okay, the one question. Okay, well, back to what we were saying, just about being with people and all of that good stuff. Community. Let's give some updates about...
Update on community.
Yes.
So before we had no friends.
Okay.
Now we have one.
Stop, Justus.
Now we have one friend.
No, we don't. We have friends.
We have a lot of friends. And I feel like every single weekend now we're like super busy, which is really cool and such a blessing. I feel like that something that we've been prayed for a long time. And, you know, it's interesting how quickly it kind of all unraveled. And, you know, usually it takes about like a year for people to actually feel settled and feel at home and kind of build that community. But I feel like we're already starting to see the benefits of that right now.
I think it's 100% like all to owe to the Lord, because that is like Justus said, one thing that we have been continuously praying for, both separately and together, just like praying for a community, praying to feel at peace with our church, praying for a lot of things with the community. And he has truly answered that prayer, and it's only continuing to grow. Like,
yeah, I
even
feel like
today,
every single time, like we just met
more
with a new
people.
couple who I serve with, the guy I serve with at church on the parking team, him
Yeah.
and his wife, we went and had coffee with them this morning. And it's like we were meeting at 9:30 and it was like, oh, this would be like an hour long thing. We were there for probably like 3 hours just
4 hours.
talking, or 4 hours. It was insane, but it was so much fun.
And we could have stayed the rest of the day.
And we could have stayed the whole day, like still talking.
But we were hungry. We were like, we gotta go.
So it's been so cool just to see, one, it's like we have the church people from like our community group and, you know, people that we serve with. And you also have, you know, the people, the Auburn kind of connection with those people who like went to Auburn who you didn't really know, but they were kind of in your outerish circles.
Like I knew of them, but it wasn't like I never hung out with them in college just because you tend to stick to like who you're friends with in the beginning sort of thing. So that's been really sweet. That's been awesome. We have like a couple of different groups that we like to hang out with. But I think the coolest thing is it's not just like a check a box, like, oh, we have people to hang out with. Like I have someone I can text. It's like, no, I truly have friends that I could call if I need help. I truly have friends that I can go to church with and continue to grow my relationship with them and with the Lord. We have friends in our community group. We have, speaking of community group, our church. We are still at Shoreline City Church.
Yes.
And we love it.
We love Shoreline. We came to a new building.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, which has been awesome.
A bigger building.
So it's been cool to be a part of the church as it's growing. And I feel like more and more comfortable, more and more calling it like our church, the more that you get involved in it. Cause I feel like that's the biggest thing. Like once you actually start serving and like getting invested into what you're doing, then you have more ownership over it.
100%. And that's one thing I was going to say, if like we're sitting here saying, oh, the community is so incredible, which it is. But like we've said, we've been praying for it, but also I would say a really big thing is we're putting ourselves out there.
Yes.
Like we're not just sitting on the couch every day waiting for someone to knock on our door and be like, hey, heard you guys were cool, want to hang out? And it's like, no, we are putting ourselves out there. We are going up to people and be like, hey, this is random, but I think I recognize you from blah, blah, blah. And like you make a connection.
No, yeah, you're literally going up to people, and it's kind of like, for me, I had to like step out of my comfort zone doing that. I'm very passive, like, oh, if they want to hang out, they'll come up to me. And it's like, okay,
then
a
lot in that
they probably are thinking the same exact thing.
Exactly.
It's not like somebody has to make that like first move. And like we even made first gestures of like, I remember specifically there was a couple in our group. It's like we were going around talking about something or like what our favorite date was, and they're like, we want to go to Alpha Land.
Yes.
And we were like instantly, those are the type of people that we want to hang out with. Did not talk to them during the group, but we got their number through like our group me or whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, Camryn, just text and say, hey, like we didn't get to talk to you, but like we should all hang out. And then we did. Then we did hang out, and we didn't go to Alpha Land, but we went to the new
gym in Dallas.
Absolute Recomp in Las Colinas. But like now they're like our gym buddies, or like even just you do a Bible study with her now.
Yeah. I was about to say they're still in our community group.
They're still in our community
group.
We hang out with them on the side. It's been great.
They're the best,
And that's because we like put ourselves out there to just send out a text to people who we didn't even say a word to when we were there in person. So I will 100% echo what you're saying. You definitely have to put yourself out there.
Right. And the worst that will happen is someone says no.
Yeah.
And like, sure, of course, sometimes that hurts for people to say no to you, but like you tried. And
Exactly.
be proud of yourself for trying.
Exactly.
So I would definitely say that's one thing that like, if you take anything away from this, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like it's a new year. There are so many new opportunities, new friendships to make, more friendships to maintain in a good way, like healthy friendships. And I don't know, just put yourself out there, because it has been incredible for us, and a lot of fruit has come from it, and it's just been great.
And I would say too, it's like this, I feel like this advice is similar to like dating, how people are like, you have to go where you want your like husband or wife to be. Like you don't go to find them. Like don't go looking in a bar or something. Like we're not going to bars, we're not going to places that we don't like in order to like kind of find friends, or just like doing it randomly. Like we're going to church, we're going to the gym that we want to go, like, you know, and like through that, like we've met people through the gym, we've met people through church, and it's like we know that we would probably get along with them because we're all here for the same reason, you know?
I didn't even think about that. We haven't made any friends going out.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time we went out for a Christmas thing with our friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, I honestly couldn't even tell you.
So it's like, do stuff that you enjoy, like that you personally enjoy, and then the friends will most likely come afterwards because they're there for the same reason that you are. And boom, you have a mutual connection.
And just prayer is so powerful. And if it's really like, we are built for community. Even if you have one best friend, we're still built for community, and like foster a relationship with that one best friend, grow together in your faith with that one best friend. And it's out there. it just may be uncomfortable sometimes. Like we've definitely been uncomfortable, but it has really been incredible these past few months of just seeing
awesome.
it happen. So it's been great. Yes, community has been awesome, I would say.
And the last one is our relationship.
Our relationship.
Our relationship is in shambles, I would say.
Stop.
Just
Literally
absolute
incorrect.
shambles.
Incorrect, Justus.
It's been terrible. I would say that our relationship.
You just tried to laugh, but your throat was like
yeah,
not
my throat was
you.
like not letting me.
I was giving you the side eye. What do you think our relationship has been like, Justus?
I think we have done a very good job of trying to prioritize one another. And that's a big topic that we were talking about too with just our friends this morning. Just how to prioritize one another. Because with work and with all that community comes like so much more busyness. So much more busyness. And we experienced this firsthand because weekends were, with my job, like weekends were the only time where we really had time to spend with each other. And now that we have people to hang out with all the time, it's like, okay, like, whoa, we pull up and it's like we haven't had a date in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I think we've like, and it hasn't been like we've always thought, like we haven't been good at prioritizing every single time, but I feel like there are moments where we both like stop and kind of pull up and be like, okay, we haven't really been prioritizing each other these last couple of weeks. We've just been going and going and going. So, you know, I feel like we've done a great job of that in like dating in different ways. I know we've talked about this before, what it looks like in terms of we view dating as, or going on a date as doing something together intentionally, like undivided attention intentionally that we wouldn't normally do, like an activity that we wouldn't normally do.
Mm-hmm. But it could also be like a walk to the park.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we walk all the time, but being like, okay, it's honestly planning something out. I would say planning intentional time to be like, hey, let's walk to breakfast, grab breakfast, come back home. But on our walk, let's talk about what's been so great this week, what's not been great, what can we work on. I think I agree with you.
It's like planned time where you're like kind of intentionally doing something with each other.
And for us, I guess it is kind of hard to plan it because your job, like you said, it changes a lot. So we do that every weekend, but I would say during the week, it's very wishy-washy of what your job will allow you to do. But like we said, our mornings with my job are kind of, sadly, we have less mornings together, but you just have to find the little times, like any relationship, you have to find the little times to prioritize it. Yeah. And it's hard, but you have to work hard for things that you want. Yeah. And neither of us want our relationship to crumble. Yeah. And so we have to work hard for it. We have to work hard for it not to.
And I think it's like, you know, I feel like we're good to talk about this, and obviously like we're giving this advice and it's just what we've learned and stuff, and we're not calling just ourselves like experts and like we're not going to give you expert advice about like how to raise a kid, like how to be married with a kid and stuff like that. But I feel like we don't have a
kid, FYI.
Yes, we don't have a kid or a dog for that. We don't have,
it's just us, and we're loving life.
But I was going to say, it's like I feel like that we're good people to talk about this with, because I feel like, you know, we're still very young. So with that comes so much exterior things with like friends and family and things that are pulling you in every direction, plus job. It's like you're super busy right now, where it's like as you get older, you're all your responsibility kind of falls on, you know, taking care of your family and your kids. Whereas now we have the ability to kind of be more flexible and do these other things. And with that, you know, we have to learn how to also balance being with each other. And like, you're still my wife, I'm still your husband. So, you know, I feel like we've had to learn how to navigate that a little bit, which is something that I didn't really realize. Like when you get married this young, is like, you know, you're still 20 something, you're still 23, 24.
Hey, you turned 24 this week.
I do turn 24 this week. I'm a man now.
You were a man. Or you still are a man right now. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yes, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that obviously, like Justus said, it can get hard in different seasons of life. And we're in a great season of life right now. And it's crazy because people our age, they get off at 5. And they have every single night to be intentional with one another. And for us, that's just not the case. And so I think that for us and many other people, maybe you're still in school, maybe you work the night shift.
Exactly. There are a lot of other people who have like these weird, crazy hours.
Right.
Like one of our friends, she's a nurse and she does the night shift.
Yep.
And literally when he gets back at like 6 o'clock, she's just starting her day, and they maybe sleep together like 1 or 2 nights a week.
Maybe.
If
maybe. I mean, yeah, they're literally never spending the night together, like ever.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but they make it work because they put out that intentional time, and it's just like we do. I will say we've been putting, I think with the holidays last year, with the holidays and stuff, life got crazy because like you said, we wanted to see all of our friends before we left for vacation or for the holidays and whatever. And so we kind of put our dates on the back burner. And so I think going into 2024 this year, we've been talking a lot about, okay, how can we not let that happen again?
Yeah.
Just always checking in with one another. I think that that's the biggest thing ever, is just having the constant communication of like, okay, what has been good? What can we be better about? What are your thoughts? Just being open and honest with each other.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, we haven't taken down our Christmas tree yet.
It's okay.
It's literally like what, the second week of January, and we haven't taken down our stuff. I think she wants to keep it up the whole year.
Dude, you're literally the one who said, I'm going to make a thing for Christmas trees to be up all year.
I did say that.
You said that yesterday.
I did say that.
Anywho, we're going to take the Christmas tree down soon. I promise you guys. But just reflecting on where we were when we made part 1 of this and now where we are in part 2, I think that like all of the praise and worship goes to the Lord, because sure, we put ourselves out there, but we got the confidence and the peace from the Lord because we prayed about it. We were consistent with our faithfulness to him, faithfulness to one another. And not to say that if you do that, your life's going to plan out perfectly like you think. Like, absolutely not. Like, the Lord doesn't promise us anything. But I do believe that if we're faithful and we're obedient, which is our word for the year, then you will see things to fruition. And it's just been really sweet to see where we've come.
Yeah, no, it is definitely, it's taken a lot of prayer and just a lot of, intentionality behind it. But I would 100% agree with you. It's not just by our own like power and strength that this is kind of worked out the way that we've wanted it to. It's definitely been an answered prayer. So
absolutely
can't take credit.
Right. Absolutely. And I will encourage people. It sometimes is really hard when your personal life is in shambles, or you feel like it's in shambles, and you're listening to how quote unquote great someone else's life is. I recognize that can be really hard. And so we're not making this episode to just gloat about how incredible our lives are. We're making this episode to show you that if you are just consistent, you put yourself out there, you put your faith and your roots in the Lord, you put your faith and your roots in not in anything else, in the Lord. Keep your faith and roots in the Lord.
Put your roots in everything.
No, in nothing. In the Lord, only in the Lord. And just be a good friend. Be the friend that you want someone to be for you. I think that that's very good advice, of just like, don't seek a friendship for them to be a good friend to you, because you have to be a good friend right back. And that goes with any relationship. That can go with a mother-daughter relationship, with a marital relationship, with a brother-sister relationship, like anything. So we don't say this to just gloat to you guys. We are truly just giving you guys updates and showing you that putting yourself out there and having your faith in the Lord can
exactly. And ultimately, like, we're not like living the perfect life. Like, there are still times when we're like struggling a lot. Like, I struggle a lot of days with like work and stuff. So I definitely sympathize with that. And I feel like, just know that you're not like stuck too. And I feel like that a lot of people, it's definitely hard when you build roots somewhere and you're not seeing it. And it's like, okay, well, where do I go from here? Just know that there is a lot of options out there. Yeah. The world is so much bigger than what you think. And there is a place for everybody.
Yeah. And it's funny because now I'm thinking about this. I'm like, should we talk about some of the things that like didn't go perfectly our way? But I mean, we didn't have time to really talk about, but I mean, like, things have happened in my family that I wish didn't happen. Like, we'd put my dog down, and that was absolutely traumatizing. And then I don't know, I know a lot of sick people right now, which is really sad. So like, life is not perfect. Yeah. And you guys know that life is not perfect. So we're just giving you guys kind of a little highlight. The
blessings that we've been able to see out of those, bad times, but kind of taking a step back and looking at the good in the answered prayers that God has revealed to us, because you can always be thankful for something, even in the midst of a storm. There's always something to be thankful for.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll end on that note, but we love you guys so much, and thank you so much for listening. We're excited to have this next year podcasting with you guys.
See you guys next time.
Bye.